Hello guys, welcome along on this wet windy Irish morning. Today we're going to be looking at the alternator in this box, why you should choose this alternator and the benefits of using this one. So come on, let's go. Okay, first of all what we'll do is have a look at the contents of the box. The contents are quite simple actually, as you can imagine. It's just an alternator. Now, the alternator is produced by a company in the Netherlands, which will be a very reputable company. One plus point of this alternator is a fraction of the price of a Honda OEM alternator. The Honda alternators are coming in retail around 1,300 euros. This will be under 300 euros. It comes with a full 12-month warranty with a full backup. If you have any problems with it, it will be replaced straight away for you. If you want to follow me up to the workshop, and we will show you how simple it is to install this alternator. Now what we'll do is show you how to install or uninstall and reinstall the alternator. The first thing we do is remove the two bolts on the side. Now if you've done this before, you know quite well there's 3 bolts there. Find the right tool. And one is actually very difficult to get to. Now there's a few ways of doing it and everybody would have a different way. I'll show you how I do it. I've actually heard in one instance where a person was telling me how he used to take out the fuel tank to get at the alternator, which makes it one hell of a job. So I said we'll start by taking out the 2 easy ones.
A few moments later. A few minutes later. One eternity later.
Right, that's the 2 easy ones out. Now we go to the problematic one. Now the way I do it anyway is I remove the batteries, alright, and the battery box. Right, now that we've got the battery box out, next step now is to get up the inside. So the tool that we use now is somewhere this one with our 12 socket. Now what I do is tape up this, because they could get disconnected and then you're fishing, just to prevent this slipping when they're pushing it in and out. And I generally raise the tank is small, but I put the roll of tape under there, gives it that bit of extra space. Okay, we've removed the 2 easy bolts now. Now what we're going to do is the more difficult one. For that purpose, we're going to we've already unbolted the tank, so we're going to raise it a small bit higher. That will enable us to get in and access to the bolt on the inside. We're using as I said, we lift up the tank just to give us some elbow room, and we have a 12mm socket that will enable us to have access to the bolt. Okay. Now fish it out without losing it. That's it. Now the next part now is just remove the alternator. Unlike the 1500, there's a bit more wiggle room in the 1800 to take out the alternator. The 1500 is very tight. And that's the old one taking out. So now we'll go through the reinstallation process. Now we're not going to install the new alternator, I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, so we reinstall the old alternator. So to reinstall it, everything's the same again, but in opposite. Hopefully it won't be as problematic as was taken out. Like the alternator on this one is not damaged or broken, so we no need to change it. Believe it or not, this is actually a Chinese alternator that I installed in this bike, I think about 7 years ago, and even now there's still nothing wrong with it. Now, no my luck, I'll get this bike back on the road and the first thing that'll go will be the alternator. So we're going to be using the copper grease here when we're reinstalling the bolts to prevent them from seizing up on us next time. Make it easier next time if we have to take this out again. So we put the two easy ones in first. That will help us get the alternator properly lined in.
One eternity later.
Next we're going to have the difficult one. The problem we're going to have with this is getting it threaded through without dropping it into the engine. Just happened a couple of times. So what I do is, it's enough just to hold it in place, but when we start tightening it, it'll come loose. Last thing I want to do is go fishing down into the engine for my bolts. So that's your alternator reinstalled. Now it's a very messy job, so, well, time consuming. It takes a bit of time and they are messy to get at, but doable. So I hope this has been of use to you, and if you do need an alternator, you know where to look. We'll put a link to the alternator down below in the description. Hope you enjoyed the video, so goodbye from Paul.
With